Exclusive.
The Columbine shooting on April 20th, 1999 at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, occurred when two teens went on a shooting spree, killing 13 people and wounding more than 20 others, before turning their guns on themselves and committing suicides. The Columbine shooting was at the time the worst high school shooting in U.S. history and prompted national debate on gun control and school safety, as well as a major investigation to determine what motivated the gunman. Eric Harris, 18 at the time, and Dylan Klebold, 17. Subsequent school shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, continue to raise questions about gun control in the United States. At approximately 11:19 a.m., Klebold and Harris had killed 12 students and a teacher and wounded more than 20 other people. Shortly after 12 p.m., the two suspected cowards then turned their guns on themselves. Investigators later learned Harris and Klebold had arrived in separate cars at Columbine around 11:10 on the morning of the massacre. The two then walked into the cafeteria, where they placed two duffel bags, each containing a 20-pound propane bomb set to explode at 11:17. The teens then went back outside to their cars to wait for the bombs to go off. When the bombs failed to detonate, Harris and Klebold began their shooting spree. In the days immediately following the shootings, it was speculated that Harris and Klebold purposely chose athletes, minorities, and Christians as their victims. Listen to this evil. It was initially reported that one student, Cassie Barnell, was asked by one of the gunmen if she believed in God. When Barnell allegedly said yes, she was shot to death. Her parents later wrote a book titled She Said Yes, honoring their daughter. However, it later was determined that the question was not proposed to Barnell, but to another student who already had been wounded by a gunshot. When that victim replied yes, the shooter walked away. Subsequent investigations determined Harris and Klebold chose their victims randomly, and the two teens originally had planned to bomb their school, potentially killing hundreds of people. There was speculation that Harris and Klebold committed their killings because they were members of a group of society outcasts called the Trenchcoat Mafia that was fascinated by goth culture. It also was speculated that Harris and Klebold had carried out the shootings as retaliation for being bullied, which I say is a damn excuse. I'm sick of people using the bullied card to justify cowards shooting up schools. Additionally, violent video games and music were blamed for influencing the killers. However, none of these theories were ever proven. Through journals left behind by Harris and Klebold, investigators eventually discovered the teens had been planning for a year to bomb the school in an attack similar to the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. Investigative journalist Dave Cullen, author of the 2009 book Columbine, described Harris as the callously brutal mastermind, while Klebold was a quivering depressive who journaled obsessively about love and attended the Columbine prom 3 days before opening fire. In the aftermath of the shootings, many schools across America enacted zero tolerance rules regarding disruptive behavior and threats of violence from students. Columbine High School reopened in the fall of 1999, but the massacre left a huge scar on the Littleton community. Mark Maines, the man who sold a gun to Harris and bought him 100 rounds of ammunition the day before the murders, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Another man, Philip Duran, who introduced Harris and Klebold to Maines, also was sentenced to prison time. Some victims and families of people killed and injured filed lawsuits against the school and the police. Most of these suits were later dismissed in court. Gun control and disagreements over the interpretation of the Second Amendment continue to be a controversial issue in the United States, where 45,000 people die from gun-related crimes each year.